Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 70, so let's get to it. Episode 70 begins with Team Rocket for a change. They are in their hideout where they realize that Morpeko ate all their food yet again, even though they took the time to hide all their snacks. James even used a safe to hide his snacks, and Morpeko was still able to eat them by breaking through the safe like a master thief. It's clear that no food is safe from Morpeko's insatiable appetite. This has been apparent for a while now, since this is not the first time that Morpeko's extreme hunger has been put on display. And Team Rocket are clearly tired of dealing with Morpeko, and they do say that all their money is used to buy food for it, and that they can't do their job as members of Team Rocket with it around. However, they refuse to directly voice their complaints because Morpeko is ruthless in its hangry mode. They even tell Morpeko to keep eating, that hopefully it likes the food and that they will buy more food for Morpeko. But they then gather to discuss what to do. Meowth suggests catching Morpeko because then it will have to obey them. But Jessie says that having Morpeko as a Pokemon would be useless since the only thing that it does is eat. Jessie goes on to say that precisely because they have not caught Morpeko, they don't own it. Therefore, they can just leave it out in the wild somewhere without worry, which is what they decide to do. So the episode then cuts to James, who is leading Morpeko as far away as possible from the hideout with the intention of leaving Morpeko behind. James wonders how he is going to abandon Morpeko, and Morpeko takes out a berry seed from its pouch. It then gives it to James, who is initially confused because Morpeko is sharing food. James eats the berry seed, which he finds delicious, and he comments that Morpeko is actually pretty cute when it's not hungry. And I have to agree with this. Morpeko is just adorable throughout the episode, when it's in full belly mode, that is. But Morpeko is especially adorable here when it shares food. Morpeko then takes out another berry seed, which it eats after frying it using electricity. Morpeko eating berry seeds that it stores in its pouch is a reference to its Pokedex entries in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Morpeko's Pokedex entry in Pokemon Sword mentions that it keeps berry seeds in its pouch, while Pokemon Shield's entry mentions that they are electrically roasted seeds. So both entries are referenced in this episode, which is a nice detail. So James and Morpeko keep walking while Morpeko keeps eating. It's shown here that Morpeko is actually dropping berry seeds as it walks, leaving behind a trail. At this point, I knew that Morpeko would surely use this trail to find its way back to Team Rocket. Also, look at how many berry seeds there are here. There's so many, especially when you consider that there's more further behind. Plus, Morpeko is still eating more as it walks. So I wonder, how can such a small Pokemon store so many berries? There is just no way they all fit in Morpeko's pouch. After they walk for a little more, James stops walking and he hides, hoping that Morpeko will keep walking on its own. However, James turns around to find that Morpeko did not fall for the trick. James acts like he was not trying to do anything, and Morpeko gives him another berry seed. James and Morpeko eventually get to the city and they keep walking. James wonders once again what he will do, but Morpeko ends up transforming into hangry mode because it finally runs out of berry seeds to eat. Like seriously, it took this long for Morpeko to run out of berry seeds. Morpeko must have taken lessons from Doraemon, though limitless storage spaces are a common trope in anime, but Doraemon is the most fitting comparison here. James turns to a nearby stand that is selling food, and he buys everything in it. Back in the forest, Morpeko angrily eats all the food while James leaves the area. Morpeko takes a while to eat everything since it's evening time when it's done eating. Morpeko looks around for James, but of course, James is gone. The episode then cuts to James, who says, "Stay strong out there, goodbye Morpeko." It's clear that James cares for Morpeko, even if Morpeko is a problem most of the time. James then keeps going. However, Morpeko, who is searching for James nearby, finds the breadcrumb trail of berry seeds that it left behind earlier. Morpeko follows the trail by eating each berry seed one by one, just as I expected. Meanwhile, Jessie, Meowth, and Wobbuffet Rocket are on their way back to the hideout with grocery bags. They are happy that they can finally eat in peace. James soon joins them and he says that he succeeded in getting rid of Morpeko. However, when they go inside the hideout, they find Morpeko, who is in hangry mode, waiting for them. Morpeko breaks the grocery bags and then it uses Aura Wheel to send Team Rocket flying. It's funny that they blast off from their own hideout. The next day, Team Rocket walk around town and Morpeko follows them with an innocent expression like he has done nothing wrong. They soon hear Goh, who is nearby with Ash. Goh catches a Raticate in an alley nearby. Jesse has the idea to get rid of Morpeko by having Ash or Goh catch it. Now Jesse says them, referring to both Ash and Goh, but of course, Goh is the one that would most likely try to catch Morpeko. Team Rocket sit incognito at a cafe. Ash and Goh are about to pass by said cafe, so Meowth places Morpeko in their path so that they run into it. But Morpeko does not stay put even though Meowth said stay here. Instead, Morpeko goes back to Team Rocket, so Ash and Goh walk by without seeing it. Fun fact, Ash, Iris, Alexa, and Silent visited this same cafe in episode 141 of the Black and White series, so this is a nice callback. I love that Pokemon Journeys keeps referencing previous series with little details like this. So next, Team Rocket tried to have Ash and Goh run into Morpeko again near a creep shop, but they end up giving a creep to Morpeko instead since it's in hangry mode, while Ash and Goh walk away with their own creeps in hand. Next, Team Rocket sent Morpeko on a fountain in the park with a bucket of food. Ash and Goh are walking towards Morpeko, but Ash spots a Pidgeotto which Goh wants to catch, and thus they go over there instead, so once again, they don't see Morpeko, who ends up demanding more food. Next, Jessie pretends to be a fortune teller. Ash and Goh pass by her and Goh is lamenting that he did not catch the Pidgeotto. Goh has failed to catch a Pidgeotto several times already, like in episode 68. Jessie says that she sees signs that they will meet their fated Pokemon. Goh gets excited thinking that she is talking about Mew. Jessie then points to where the fated Pokemon is and a Pidgeotto happens to fly by right here. It turns out that Jessie pointed the wrong way, but Ash and Goh leave to pursue Pidgeotto before Jessie can point to where Morpeko is. Team Rocket then sit at a playground where they exclaim that Ash and Goh have really bad timing and that they should catch Morpeko already, who is once again in hangry mode. There is a truck nearby filled with Pokemon food. While the delivery man delivers Pokemon food to a nearby house, Morpeko sneaks into the truck and the delivery man then closes the door, locking Morpeko inside. The delivery man then drives away. James notices that Morpeko is gone, but it's too late. James does try to tell the delivery man to stop, but Jessie says that he should not stop because this works in their favor. They finally got rid of Morpeko. James makes a concerned face here, which again shows that he is reluctant about abandoning Morpeko. In the back of the truck, Morpeko eats its fill and then it falls asleep. The truck coincidentally stops at Ceres Institute for its next delivery. Ren brings the boxes of food inside with Morpeko sleeping in one of the boxes. Ash and Goh return to Ceres Institute and Goh tells Professor Ceres that he is one step closer to Mew because he caught a Raticate. Ash goes on to say that Goh still has no luck with Pidgeotto, however, but Goh says that next time he will catch it. Teresa says that the Pokemon should be hungry by now, while Ren says that there is new Pokemon food in the usual spot, so Ash and Goh decide to feed their Pokemon. Ash and Goh bring the food to Ceres Park where a bunch of their Pokemon gather up to eat. When Ash opens the box on top of the pile, he finds Morpeko, who is still sleeping, which surprises Ash. Goh picks up Morpeko, who transforms into hangry mode, which is an understandable reaction to have when you are faced with Goh. Morpeko then starts to eat the food. Goh's Greedent also starts eating the food, and Morpeko starts eating faster as a result. So this turns into a replay of the final round of the Pokemon Grand Eating Contest, or more specifically, it turns into a rematch between these two gluttonous Pokemon. Now I love how all the other Pokemon react. They are all in disbelief, which is funny. Greedent and Morpeko start fighting for the food. Ash tries to intervene, but it doesn't work. Greedent then takes several bags of food which is stored in a nearby tree, but Morpeko proceeds to eat them, which leads to a bigger fight. Ghost Raichu then appears with a pile of berries which she gives to Morpeko and Greedent, who stop fighting in order to eat all the berries. Raichu keeps bringing more and more berries, and I do wonder where she is bringing them from, since there's just so many berries and she brings them so quickly. I guess that she also took lessons from Doraemon. It's nice to see that Raichu is still very kind. Golden tries to catch Morpeko while it eats, but the Pokeball does not even shake once. Morpeko easily escapes and it keeps eating. Go is sad because he lost to Morpeko's appetite. So Ash says that he should just wait until Morpeko settles down. Now it's not really surprising that Go fails to catch Morpeko because Morpeko has been with Team Rocket for so long now that there is just no way that Go would catch it so easily, especially when Team Rocket are not around to witness it. So all the Pokemon sit down to eat together now that everything is fine. Go gives Raichu a plate of food and he tells her to take it to Drizzile, who is still in the same cave where we last saw it. Raichu takes the food to Drizzile, but Morpeko shows up and it starts to eat the food. Man, Morpeko does not miss a chance to eat someone else's food. Drizzile ends up giving the food to Morpeko. How nice of Drizzile. Go sees this exchange and he rejoices because he believes that they might get along better than he expected. I guess that he really is hoping to catch Morpeko. The episode then cuts to Team Rocket's hideout. Jessie and Meowth are planning to steal Pokemon at a nearby shopping mall. Since Morpeko is finally gone, they can get back to work. However, James is not paying attention to the discussion as he is thinking about Morpeko. He wonders if Morpeko might be out there hungry. Again, James shows that he cares for Morpeko. The episode then cuts back to Ceres Park. It is now the next day and the Pokemon are once again eating together. Go says that today he will catch Pidgeotto for sure, so he and Ash head out. Morpeko, now in full belly mode, spots them and it leaves after them. Now I love how Raichu brings more food for Morpeko, but she's confused when she does not see Morpeko. Greedent is then like, here, give it to me, I still want some more. Ash and Goh search for Pidgeotto, but they hear screams, so they follow the screams to a nearby mall where Team Rocket are stealing Pokemon just as they planned the night before. And it's interesting that they are using the Snorlax vacuum machine that they used back in episode 49. Ash and Goh confront Team Rocket, who exclaim that they are in peak form because they finally ate properly. And they also bought a bunch of snacks which will not disappear anymore. Morpeko, who followed Ash and Goh, then appears and it spots the snacks. Ash and Gold decide to battle Team Rocket using Pikachu and Cinderace respectively. Team Rocket call for their gacha machine, which strangely arrives on its own instead of being delivered by Pelipper. From the gacha machine, Team Rocket get a Natu and a Zigzagoon. Jessie complains that these Pokemon are kinda bland. Jessie tells Zigzagoon to use Takedown, but Zigzagoon runs around fittingly in a zigzag pattern and it does nothing. Meanwhile, James tells Natu to use Peck, but this only tickles Cinderace. So Team Rocket essentially got useless Pokemon this time around. Pikachu uses Quick Attack to intercept and hit Zigzagoon, while Cinderace uses Pyro Ball on Natu, which sends Natu flying. Natu ends up crashing into Morpeko, who was about to eat the snacks Team Rocket bought. This angers Morpeko, who transforms into Hangry mode, and it uses Stomping Tantrum, which is a move it has never used before, and a fitting move to use when frustrated. This hits both Pikachu and Cinderace, who are launched off into the distance, and there is even an explosion. As Meowth notes, Stomping Tantrum is super effective on both Pikachu and Cinderace, so they were hit hard. Also, this is the first time that Stomping Tantrum is used in the anime. Jessie congratulates Morpeko for doing such a good job, and she encourages Morpeko to keep going, but Morpeko uses Aura Wheel on Team Rocket, and so they blast off again for the second time in this episode. It's funny that they had Ash and Goh on the ropes and they could have won, but Morpeko essentially betrays them. The stolen Pokemon then escape while Morpeko eats all the snacks. Morpeko then leaves while Ash and Goh wonder what all of this was about. They then spot a Pidgeotto that is on the roof for some reason, and Goh manages to catch it, meaning that he finally catches catches the Pokemon species that has been eluding him for a while. Now I do wonder if this is the same Pidgeotto that appeared twice before in this episode. If it is, then it turns out that Jesse was right. Pidgeotto is Goh's fated Pokemon. Goh then does the classic "I caught a Pokemon" pose that Ash always does, because why not, right? The episode then cuts to Team Rocket, who landed on a tree. As they complain about what happened, Morpeko appears. Morpeko is clearly searching and calling for them. The way Morpeko calls out to Team Rocket is just so adorable. But Jesse and Meowth say that they should just let Morpeko pass, but James realizes that Morpeko came all this way because it is searching for them. So, James calls out to Morpeko, who is very happy to see James. James then throws a Pokeball at Morpeko, who jumps towards it, and so James ends up catching Morpeko, which is nice, and it's not surprising whatsoever since it was obvious throughout the episode that James cares deeply about Morpeko, so I knew that this would be the resolution. This is the first Pokemon that James catches in Pokemon Journeys, and it's also his first capture since Marini back in the Sun and Moon series. James then sends out Morpeko and he says, "Let's stick together from now on," and Morpeko smiles. Jesse and Meowth are initially disappointed because James caught Morpeko, but Jesse then says that Morpeko is strong, so they might find some use for it someday. James then picks up Morpeko and he says, "Let's go home." Now you would think that this is a happy ending, but Morpeko transforms into hangry mode and it uses Aura Wheel on Team Rocket once again, and so they blast off yet again for the third time in this episode. This has to be a new record, right? Has Team Rocket blasted off this many times in one episode before? Maybe, though not as far as I can remember. Also, I love that Team Rocket say "I knew it" in unison as they blast off. I knew it as in they knew that this could not have a happy ending. But that's the episode. So overall, this was a fun episode, and I have to say that Morpeko stole my heart with how adorable it can be in its full belly mode. And I am glad that James caught Morpeko. Morpeko has basically been the Beware of Pokemon Journeys, a Pokemon that stays with Team Rocket even though Team Rocket does not own said Pokemon. A Pokemon that is a source of comic relief and that often leads to Team Rocket's downfall throughout the series. Team Rocket never caught Beware, of course, so I thought that this would happen again with Morpeko, but I am glad that this time, a member of Team Rocket did catch the recurring Pokemon, and James is the best choice for this since he is the most caring of the trio, or rather, he is more caring than Jesse since Meowth does not count because he would not catch a Pokemon. So yeah, in the end, I loved this episode overall, and I do hope that in the future, Morpeko shows its good, adorable side more often because it really is cute when it's in its full belly mode. So I want to see more of this, and I also wanted to be more friendly and affectionate with James, its new trainer, since Morpeko still has a bit of an anger problem, though I guess that this is part of its role as a source of comic relief, so perhaps this will never change. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.